ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। नमस्ते शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोहग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे। हरि ओम। We saw in yesterday's class, in fact, we have been seeing so many questions raised by Purapakshi. Purapakshi says, for a jnani, he should remember that knowledge that I am Brahman. Otherwise, he will forget. Vidyadhimuni said, once jnanam we get, there is no need for thought repetition. In Laukika Jnanam also, once we get the knowledge of the object, we need not repeat it. But whenever we want, we can recall. So at the formation of the knowledge, generating the knowledge, thought is necessary. And when we recall, it comes as a form of thought only. But to store the knowledge, to preserve the knowledge, thought is not necessary. So a jnani, he may do meditation. He may not do meditation. He may involve in the word. He may not involve in the word. Absolutely his choice. Why? He had achieved that knowledge, that self-realization through knowledge. As said by the scriptures, jnanadevatu kaivalya. Iti shastreshu dindimaha. This has been very clearly said in Shastras. But Purapakshi is somehow obsessed with the thought that if he doesn't remember, if he doesn't repeat that knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, he may forget and he may involve in the worldly affairs. So he is continuing in 98th verse. Tattvavid yadi nadhyaye dhyayet pravarteta tada bahihi pravartatam sukhenayam kobadosya pravartate. Tattvavid yadi nadhyayet pravarteta tada bahihi. Vidyadhimuni said no sadhana required for a jnani. That is very clear. No meditation required. Suppose somebody loves to be in his own way, in his own meditation, he can choose. That's what he said in previous verse. Jnani may perform all kinds of karmas. A jnani grahastha jnani, maybe in grahastha ashrama jnani, he may perform his karma kanda. He may perform his agnihotra. But all those things doesn't come under yoga or any upasana for him. They're called karma abhasa. But here, Purapakshi says, how can you say that? He doesn't need any involvement, no thought necessary to, no repetition, no japa is necessary. He says if Jnani is not doing any spiritual practice, he may get involved in the worldly affairs. That's what see. What did he say? Tattvavid yadi na dhyayet pravarteta tada bahi pravarteta tada. He involves in worldly activities. So what Vijayarman says? Pravartatam sukhena ayam ko bhadosya pravartane. Vijayarman says, okay, let this jnani involve in the worldly activities. He may involve in worldly activities. So problem, what is the problem? What is the harm in this? He may increase his wealth, he may increase his possession, he may take up some different projects. He may involve in loka sangraham, welfare of the world. Where is the harm, he says? Where is the harm? Pravartatam sukhena. Happily let him engage. Sukhena pravartatam. There is no worry, no problem. Sukhena ayam. Ko badhosya pravartane. What is the objection in his involvement in the worldly affairs? That is a freedom. That is a freedom. So by merely involving in the worldly activities, the jnani doesn't lose his aham brahmasmi anubhav jnana vritti. He doesn't lose it. Another problem Purvapakshi brings. See, if you say that jnani need not do any sadhana, okay. On the more, you are added that he may involve in all kinds of activities in the world. That is more dangerous, isn't it? So he says in 99th verse, Ati prasanga iti chet prasangam tavadhiraya prasango vidishastram chet natatvavidam prati natattatvavidam prati natattatvavidam prati. Now, you say that, the Jnani's way of life. Vijayamani, enters into a beautiful area. If he is not required to do any kind of sadhana, number one. Number two is what? Is involving freely in the world. Ati prasanga means what? Doesn't he cross all kinds of limits then? There is a maryada, no? There is a limit, decency, maryada in vyavahara. So he will cross all limits. He may cross all limits. That is the worry of Purvapakshi. And such a jnani in the society, suppose he is involved in all kinds of activities without any maryada, without any limit, without any sima. And another danger in society is people follow him. That is more dangerous, isn't it? So Vijayaranya says, tell me, what do you mean by the word limit? Maryada, you are telling Maryada. Okay, then somebody should draw a line. Because if Jnani is given full freedom to involve, to move, to behave as he likes, violation of many things may take place. He may violate many things. Vijayarman, what is the limit of Maryada? Then you please tell me, what do you mean by Maryada, and what is that limit that you are putting on a Jnani that, okay, this is the Seema which he should not cross? What is the Maryada? Purvapaksh says, why should I say that? Shastra says. What Shastra? Vidhi. Prasango Vidhi Shastram Chet. Vidhi Nisheda is given in Vedas. No, do's and don'ts are given. So many do's and don'ts are given by Shastra, and this Mahatma doesn't follow anything. Is it not a violation then? Veda tells, there are, what is called, Vidhi Nisheda. I am not saying, Shastra says, Prasango Vidhi Shastram Che. Various obligations are there. Obligation of following the scriptural injunctions, he will cross, he will violate. Jnani will violate. I'm just recalling all those Mahatmas, especially, Avadhutas are of this category. Atyashrami, it is called, they are called Atyashrami. They are beyond all ashramas. Even Sannyasa ashrama has rules and regulations. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi called himself Atyashrami, he said. I am Atyashrami. So Purvapakshi worried, Vedic injunctions he will not follow. That's the limit set by Veda, Maryada. और मर्यादा की जो सीमा होती है उसको पार कर देता है कौन? ज्ञानी. तो नुकसान करेगा, अपने लिए नुकसान करेगा, और दुनिया में सारे लोग, जितने भी लोग हैं, उनके अनुचर लोग जो भी हैं, वे भी उनको देखकर ही यथेष्टाचार करेंगे, उनका अनुकरण करेंगे. इसलिए मर्यादा जो होती है, वेद में जो बताया, वेद की जो मर्यादा है, सीमा की बात कहती है वेद. So he has to confine himself to that. Otherwise, Ati Prasanga. You say, he can do anything in all kinds of worldly activities you can involve. Then what is he following in Veda? He can lead a freestyle. Ithechha Vyavahar, but a freestyle. Vijayaranya says, Tat Tatpavidam na prati. Na Tat Tatpavidam prati. Are Baba, all these Vidhi Nishedas, do's and don'ts are first of all not applicable to Jnani. Veda can dictate to whom? Ajnani. Remember, Veda dictate terms to Ajnani only. Veda cannot dictate terms to Jnani, who is awakened to the truth. He is beyond Veda also. Even Veda cannot dictate terms to him. Do this, do that. He is absolutely free. He has come out of it. No another problem will come. Why? See, then if he is Yateshtachara, if he is following his own and is beyond the Vedic injunctions, then can a jnani live the life he wants to live? Maybe according to law, not according to law. Can he take law in his own hands? Think about it. So he may involve in all kinds of antisocial activities, those activities which are not to be performed, he may perform them because he is a jnani. So if you say that Vidhi Nisheda is not applicable, do's and don'ts are not applicable to jnani, that means are you suggesting that he can do anything in society? So this also will be addressed in following verses. He says, Varnashramavayovastabhimano yasya vidyate tasyaiva hi nishedascha vidayas sakala api. Varna ashrama vaya avastha abhimanah yasya vidyate tasya hi nishedascha vidayah sakala api. You are missing a point here. Now, all these limits are meant for whom? Who is a jnani? Jnani is the one who is not identified with anything. Who is a jnani? Who is identified with everything. So in this verse, he is explaining whether Tattvavid, Veda Shastra does not exist, or you say it is not relevant at all. Why? He is beyond. So Veda cannot command jnani. So one who is identified, what is the reason this? Identified with Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Ashrama, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, Vayovastha, Abhimanaha, stages of life, Balya, Yavana, Kaumara. So one who is identified with all these things. To him alone, the Vedic injunctions of do's and don'ts are applicable. He is caught up in the sakarma, sukruta karma, duskruta karma, papa, punya, kartatva, abhimana, phalapeksha, and abhimana with varna, ashrama. Imagine that state. One who is freed from all kinds of identification with varna, ashrama, dharma, varna and ashrama sthiti, etc. Vayavastha. That is real freedom. So for all varnashramis, these Vidhi Nisheda, do's and don'ts are applicable. There are, samanya dharmas are there. Samanya dharmas are what? General values which are applicable to complete mankind, irrespective of varna and ashrama, irrespective of your color, caste, creed, religion, the stage of life, your varna, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. What are those? They are called common values which are universal. Samanya dharma. In Puranas and the Samanya dharmas are explained. These are all values which are across all sections of people, all castes, creed, religion, nationalities. The list of common dharmas. So these are to be practiced by everybody. And specific duties as per the age, ashrama, stage, varna, they are specially given. So all of us we have to follow the Samanya Dharma, which are universal, and specific to our Varna and Ashrama, we have to follow that Dharma. So who is dictating my life? Veda is dictating. But for Jnani, there is no Varna Abhimana, Ashrama Abhimana. I am neither Manushya, Deva. I am neither Jiva also. I am Brahman. So how can you dictate terms to him? Does that mean he involves in all kinds of activity which are not to be involved in society? No, he will not do that. Why? He has already disciplined mind. No. Earlier, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, Viveka, Vairagya, Mukshutva, Shat already get practiced long back. All kinds of disciplines he practiced. So his mind doesn't allow him to do any unwanted things, prohibited actions, he will not do. Moreover, the one who sees himself in every way, how can he harm anybody? Except love and kindness and compassion. There is one dimension. Other dimension is when everything is mithya to him, other than me, everything is mithya. We will not give, he doesn't give any reality, status of reality to the world, to this Drishya Prapancha. So what prohibitions and do's and don'ts we are talking about, that will come next also. So Jnani follows within Nisheda. Not that he doesn't follow. But Veda cannot dictate him. It is his free wish, free will. But then what does Jnani behave normally? A Jnani behaves according to Vidhinisheda only he behaves. He behaves decently. Because his mind has been already trained not to do any prohibited activities. So whatever he does work for, it becomes Loka Sangraham. Whatever Jnani does, it stands as a great blessing to the world. It doesn't mean that he is bound by Vedic injunctions, Vedic dictates. He is free. So he is doing service, society is involved in constructive social activities. Not that because Veda dictates him. It is his free will. He may involve, he may not involve. That is why every Gurudev or Mahatmas, when they serve society for mankind, not that they have a desire, it's there out of compassion. Not that all gurus are rajasic in nature, therefore they are working building ashramas, maintaining them, involving in all kinds of discussions, solving problems, raising money. They are not involved like an ordinary man is involved. It is only there out of compassion they are working. He becomes Sreshta Purusha in society. A role model. And if he is a married Jnani, of course, Grihastha Ashrama mein hai, he becomes a, so many Mahatmas are there, Grihasthas, awakened people, advanced spiritual people. Whole family, they are becoming role model. They all worship their family member, father, or whatever it is, with great devotion, love, and kindness. They run the many schools or colleges or Vedic or what do you call the teachings and the bhajans, and so many groups they lead, they guide. So such a jnani becomes a role model to the people in his own family onwards, family and society. He may be, if he Gurustha, he may involve in that. If he is sannyasi, he may be only parivrajaka. No organization, he may be. Not station. But wherever he goes, he's blessing people. So jnani doesn't involve in any kind of prohibited activities, not because Veda dictates him or he has to follow Veda, but it is his swabhava not to harm anybody, not to hurt anyone, love everyone, bless everyone. That too, it is an option for him to involve or not to involve. वर्णाश्रमादयो देहे मायया परिकल्पिताः नात्मनो बोधरूपस्येति एवं तस्य विनिश्चयः. Varna ashramadayah, Varna dharma, ashrama dharma, etc. All other dharmas. Their duties, responsibilities, obligatory duties. Mayaya parikalpitaha. All are creations of Maya only. For whom? For a jnani. For a jnani. Because jnani has realized the truth, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So after studying Vedanta, Vichara, Vedanta Marga is Shravana Mana Nididhyasana, that is Mahavakya Vichara, Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. And that Jnana Vichara, that through Shravana Manana, this Jnana Vritti is created. Through Mahavakya Vichara, one has to contemplate on the Mahavakya. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. He will inquire. By that very, very deep inquiry, the truth is revealed. So, when I started Vedanta Vichara, then I see this Jagat as what? Mithya, Anatma, Drugdrushya Viveka. Drishyam is Yad Drishyam, Tad Jadam. Yad Jadam, Tad Nashyam. Yan Nashyam, Tad Maya. Whatever is seen, it is insentient, Jadam. Yad Jadam, Tad Nashyam. What is insentient is subjected to destruction. And what is liable to destruction is only an appearance. It's called Maya. It is not real. So what is Drishya Prapancham? Everything is Maya. That is one stage. When he awakened and sees Brahman everywhere, he doesn't call this, listen carefully, he doesn't call Drishya Prapancha as Anatma. Why? There is no Drishya Prapancha other than Brahman. He sees Brahman everywhere. So, even to say there is something Drishya, seen, world is seen, something seen, inverted commas, away apart from me, means you are accepting a duality. Meaning what? There is something other than you. So after going one more step, Drishyam also is not there. Everything is Brahmamayam. So Anatma also doesn't exist. So how do you negate the Drishya Prapancham then? Drishya Prapancham is apparently seen. How long it is seen? As long we are seeing it, so long it exists. How long the dream exists? As long I am seeing the dream exists. The moment I withdraw, there is no dream. I wake up. So who is the Druk then? I am the observer, very the subject is in me. The very witness in me is Druk. Drukeva Satyam. Rest all is what? Everything is born from me, exists in me, dissolves in me. In waking plane, when morning I get up from deep sleep state. Where is the physical world has come from? From my own mind it is born. Because mind woke up, mind got up, and the world is. As long as mind is existing, in the daytime, the world is existing. Where in the mind? Ramana Maharshi says, there is no separate world other than your thought. Very powerful it is. There is no world other than a thought of your thought. So where is the world existing? In thought? What is the example? Dream example. Where is the dream existing? In thought. The thought withdrawn, no dream world. So what is this man Mahatma says, Vidyamana says, for a jnani, varnashramaadayo dehe maya parikalpita. They are Maya means they are appearing, they are not real also. And they don't belong to me. I am Atman. They don't belong to me. Bodharupasya Atmanah naiti evam tasya vinischayah. It is not, they don't belong, it doesn't belong to me. Bodharupasya, the very nature of self-effulgence, nature of consciousness, nature of pure knowledge. It doesn't belong to me. So how can such a man, to whom the Drishya Prapancha itself is not mithya, how can Veda bind him in do's and don'ts? Do's and don'ts where? Where to do? Where is the locus to do? this physical world. It doesn't exist. Irrelevant, no? Sankalpa, karta, karma, everything irrelevant for the jnani. So I may involve I may involve in worldly activities. Samadhi matha karmani ma karotu va hrudayena sta sarvasto mukta evottamaashayah. Hrudayena asta sarvastaha. All kinds of attachments, where are they? In the heart only. And this man is liberated from all kinds of bondages. Bhidyate hrudaya granthi chidyante chasya karman tasmin druste parav. Chidyante sarva karma. See? So when this samadhi matha, so the very man of very clear, one who has got clear conviction that I am Brahman. From that heart, from that person, all attachment disappears. So then what is happening now? Completely freedom from all attachments of the mind. Then, ma karotu karotuva. Samadhim, he may stay in meditation. Atha karmani ma karotu karotuva. He may engage himself in meditation, or he may involve in activities, or he doesn't involve in activities. Karma. Otherwise, he may remain absolutely quiet, calm and quiet. So many people in the world, they are obsessed with, please don't misunderstand me, very dangerous it is. Because, obsession is actually, anything towards obsess, very dangerous. I will not expand this thought further. You have to think about it. Because further, if I say, you may misunderstand and then problem might come. So samadhi, let the jnani remain in samadhi. If he wants to remain in samadhi, absorbed himself, he can. He can do it. Veda dare not touch jnani. And Veda is not worried, oh my God, this man is out of all kinds of law, within Nisheda. Will he become licentious? Veda doesn't bother. Why? Because the Veda knows this man has already practiced earlier. So he will not, it is impossible for him to do anything wrong in society. He cannot be a wrong example in society. He's awakened master he is. Because who violates the law? One who is a raga dvesha. This Mahatma has no raga, no dvesha. And he had only practiced karma yoga, upasana yoga, and all that, and reached jnana. As I said, he sees himself everywhere. When he sees himself everywhere, how can he harm anybody? How can he involve in any kind of activity which prohibits, which is prohibited? So he says in 103, Naishkarmye nana tasyartho asti na tasya. Ek minute. Naishkarmye nana tasyartah tasyarthosti na karmabhihi na samadhana japabhyam yas chidana na samadhana japyabhyam yasya nirvasanam manaha. Naishkarmya sthiti is achieved. Nishkramano brahmano bhavam iti naishkarmya. One who is completely withdrawn into Brahma bhava. So, naishkarmyena means free from all kinds of mental agitation, desires, vasanas, everything. So, yasya manaha nirvasanam tasya naishkarmyenarthaha na karmati. One whose mind is freed from all kinds of vasanas, his mind is absorbed in himself. To him, there is no question of any karma. He has no meaning. Asti karna karma bihi. There is no meaning for him to engage himself in all kinds of activities. And his nivritti also is not a sadhana for him. Nivritti is not a sadhana. It is swabhava. He wants, he can withdraw. It is not a sadhana for him. That man of jnani, he may live in a forest or in the midst of samsara. He may lead a simple life or as per destiny royal life. We don't know. But he is unaffected by that. So this jnani need not practice ravana, manana, nididhyasana, all that not required. So nivritti also is not compulsory for him. See, when do we say he renounced? Renounced what? So some desires are there, some possessions are there, and he is treating the world as real, therefore renounced. One from whom all desires have been completely removed, nirvasanam mana. For him, where will he withdraw from what? So withdrawal also has no meaning. This is what Janaka Maharshi tells Ashtavakra Gita. There is no I don't do any sadhana, I don't put any effort to withdraw. Withdrawal also is not required. There is nothing to withdraw from. So nivritti is not a sadhana for him. Earlier, upasana as upasaka, I used to withdraw my mind from the external activities. So for me, involving the activities also has no meaning. Withdrawal also has no meaning. These two things that don't bind me at all. So what does Shastra say? Shastra say a jnani need not do because there is no compulsion for him. He become mind is emptied, no vasanas. Nirvasanam manaha. So Shastra says he need not do anything. We cannot dictate him. Veda says I can't, he's beyond me. I can't dictate terms to him. He need not do any karma, is exempted from all kinds of vidnishedas. But Veda says if you want to do, he can do it. Veda says I don't say he should not do actions. He can do activities. He need not do. So Swabhava is there. His Swabhava, according to Swabhava, he will work. Then what is Atma? Atma sangastato nyat tato nyat syad indrajalam himayikam ityachanchala nirnite kuto manasi vasana. Atma asangaha. It is absolutely, I am free, unattached. Tataha anyat syat indrajalam hi mayakam. So there are two things for jnani. I am there as consciousness, unattached. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Chaitanya Rupa, Druk. And I know that I exist. And I know I am Satchidananda. I got this jnana. I have woken up to the truth. I realize the truth. And everything other than me, whatever is apparently seen, Tataha anyat syat indrajalam hi mayakam. Everything other than that, other than me, is nothing but indrajalam, maya. Expression of maya, magic it is. We can say magic of maya. Maya's magic. So what is the Atma? I am asangaha, no relationship with anything. Advitiyam, one without a second. Ekameva dvitiyam. And whatever drishya prapancham, everything is maya. Even appearance for me. There is no other third entity. There is nothing third. There is no other Ishvara, Brahma other than me. I am that consciousness. The Jnani established in that, identified with Brahman. So he says, I am Brahman. So other than Brahman, everything is Mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Whatever is seen is Mithya. Who is then other than that? Me. Where is Brahman? That is me. Where is Ishvara? That is me only. There is no other than that. So Sharira, Mana, Buddhi, all products of Maya only. So only two things. I exist. What is seen is mithya. In this experience, one is established. Achanchala nirnite. Firmly convinced that this is the truth. Kuto manasi vasana. Where is the question of vasana in the mind? How can there be desire in the mind to involve in worldly activities for selfishness? Loka sangraha we may involve. But how can he involve in prohibitory activities or activities which whipped by passion, lust, and greed? Nothing. एवं नास्ति प्रसंगोपि कुतो स्याति प्रसंजनम प्रसंगो यस्य तस्यैव शंख्यते ताति प्रसंजनम एवं नास्ति प्रसंगः अपि प्रसंग means vidinisheda. So there is no question of vidinisheda prasanga for him. Obligations. Vidhi is one obligation. Nisheda, but is to follow what Shastra says, I am obliged. Not to do what Shastra says not to do, I am obliged by that. This is called prasanga. So for a Mahatma, awakened soul, there is no vidhi, there is no nisheda. And when there is no rules and regulations, first of all, how can you talk about violation? Because Purvapakshi said no, 98 verse, he said no. If he doesn't follow rules and regulations, it will be a problem. He will cross all decency, maryada. Germany says there is no question of prasanga. Where is the prasanga? Prasanga means he is not confined to rules and regulation, vidhi nisheda. How can you talk about violation of vidhi nisheda when they are not applicable to him, first of all? Like for an ambulance van, there are no rules and regulations on the road. He has to take the patient to the hospital. Sometimes he can just give siren and then stop other traffic also, even red light also he can cross emergencies. He is not violating any rule. Or traffic inspector can travel speed limit 120, 150 also on a road where 80 kilometers limit to catch the culprit. There is no rules. They are beyond. How can you say traffic inspector violated the rules? You cannot talk about it. They don't apply to him when he is especially chasing a vehicle which is speeding away. Prasango yasya tasyeva shankyate. Shankyeta. Adi prasanjanam. जिसके लिए ये लागू है विधि निषेध के अंदर जो आता है, then you can talk ati prasanjanam, violating the rules to that person who is confined by vidhi nishedha. So one who is obliged, a lot of obligations are there in life. To him, scriptures dictate vidhi nishedha, so he is confined. So do's and don'ts are applicable to him, not to the jnani. not to Jnani. I'll stop here for today, and tomorrow we'll see the from 106th verse. Okay. Thank you very much. For tomorrow we'll meet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you all. Hari Om.